Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. In the headlines tonight, a mental health charity in Hull destroyed by fire, hopes of freeing a woman accused of drug offences in Egypt, and a royal visit to the City of Culture. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Casey Adam-Fawcett about classical music in Hull. Before that, Lindsay Blow on a new Meals on Wheels service in Grimsby. A charity which provides support to men in Hull who feel lonely or isolated has been destroyed by fire. 4 fire engines were called to the headquarters of the mental health charity Men in Sheds in North Hull this morning. It's believed to be an arson attack. The charity brought people together to learn woodwork. Almost all the tools, equipment and wood have been destroyed. The damage is thought to be extensive. The Member of Parliament for Hull East has stepped in to try to free a Hull woman accused of drug offences in Egypt. Carl Turner has requested a meeting with Boris Johnson, the Foreign Secretary, to plead with the Egyptian authorities to free Laura Plummer, who's currently detained in the country. Miss Plummer was arrested after flying into Egypt with tramadol and naproxen in her suitcase for her partner. He suffers back pain following an accident. The drugs are illegal in Egypt. Mr Johnson's recent intervention in the case of a British woman in prison in Iran might have caused her sentence to be doubled. A petition calling for Miss Plummer's release has received over 10,000 signatures. Hull has had a royal visit today. Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, officially opened a new nautical college in Carmelite House. It's based in Poston Gate in the Old Town. The new college will provide a variety of courses in maritime and nautical studies targeted at students aged 16 to 18. Students will be able to learn various skills, including practicing sailing in all weather conditions on a training simulator. An historic building where Hull's paupers received medical treatment is being demolished brick by brick. The Horton building is being knocked down to make way for a £500,000 helipad, which will bring critically ill patients to Hull Royal Infirmary. Workmen are demolishing part of the 103-year-old building by hand, removing each brick individually. Duncan Taylor, the Director of Facilities and Development at Hull and East Yorkshire Hospitals NHS Trust, says the helipad is needed to treat patients quickly.
There's a pressing need now to provide a new helipad actually on the main hospital site, and by getting rid of this building, this is one of the enabling schemes that allows us to then construct this new helipad. We've currently got a helipad on site, but it's across the road. So for those that know the site, there's the large Argyle Street car park. On the other side of that, down Gladstone Street, is the helipad. It's a sort of a grass field currently, and that doesn't really meet modern day standards. And particularly for the new air sea rescue helicopter, the large Sikorsky helicopter, that struggles landing there. It does land, but we need a helipad actually on the site. There's quite a distance once you've landed on the current helipad. You've got to get into an ambulance and then be transported down Annaby Road and back into the hospital. That can take 5-10 minutes, and these are often our poorest patients that need to be seen quickly in the actual hospital. So by having the helipad on site, it's literally 100 metres on a trolley straight into the emergency department, and the clinicians are dealing with you straight away.
Skegness foreshore has been granted Grade 2 listed status by Historic England. Areas of the foreshore, including the clock towers and tower gardens, have been added to the Register of Historic Parks and Gardens in recognition of their historical significance. The registration provides added measures of protection to areas listed. It'll ensure the heritage of the foreshore can be enjoyed, possibly for generations to come. A Hull-based charity will be able to continue its services after receiving a cash boost. Humber Community Advice Services works with the ethnic minority community, who are often socially and economically marginalised, by providing free independent advice and advocacy services. The charity's been awarded nearly £10,000 from the big lottery fund to provide advice on money and debt issues, housing, employment and benefits. Fred McNamara brings us the story.
Job hunting, financial aid and community support are just some of the things that the Humber Community Advice Services offers help in to ethnic minority groups in Hull. The big lottery-funded project aims to give Hull's international community a helping hand in their everyday lives.
And we provide them various an advisory and advocacy service for minority ethnic community members. And what we want to do is to try and help, because most of our clients are people who are newly arrived into the country or those who've migrated into the country from other countries. And our service is just to help them to get involved in the local community, settle down, integrate well with the other communities so that they can have more of a harmonious life, but also get the kind of support which they need in different areas.
And the service is nice, Anytime I come here, it give you good advice, And for my immigration paper, it did everything fine. So I'm very happy with their service.
But then again, some of our clients might need help with, accessing medical services, because some of them have come from backgrounds where there's been insecurity, they have lived in refugee camps for years. So they might not know how to access some of the local services around. So again, we'll step in and just help link them up with the different services. There will be also those who are having problems, because some of them don't know about banking. Some of the things which you and I can take so much for granted, things like direct debit, standing orders, some of them don't know about that. So you find sometimes people are falling into debt. First of all, maybe because they're on low income, but secondly, because they don't know things about direct debit and all. So again, we will be educating them.
Edmund Busoka says he's found the hub to be a vital lifeline for him.
This office helps me a lot. Every single problem I can think of I bring it here to St. 88 to be supported. The most important that I would emphasize that brings me here is because of language. I don't have language capability. Here I am served with people who understand me. I'm able to explain myself in my local language and they will understand and interpret what my issue is. That makes this office very important for me.
But at the end of the day, our aim is to kind of empower our clients so that they do not only feel welcome into this country, but they build up a voice. Initially, we'll do, like if it means contacting different agencies, we will do on their behalf. But slowly we encourage them to find out where they can access these services and slowly build up their confidence onto going there by themselves, so that in the long run, they learn to do things for themselves. So that is our aim.
HCAS's one-stop shop objective for Hull's ethnic minority groups hopes to lay the foundations for those groups to lead more independent lives. From McNamara, Estuary News.
A new tea time delivery service has been launched by Care for All in Grimsby. That's Care numeral for All. I'm joined now by Lindsay Blow from the charity to tell me about the service. Lindsay, welcome. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I won't comment any further on graphic designers attempting to hijack English orthography. Tell me about this new service.
Well, Hugh, as you know, we already deliver a hot made meal and a pudding at lunchtime.
This is Meals on Wheels delivery.
For Meals on Wheels, it is, yes. We've just launched a new tea time delivery service for people. It's not just a meal delivery service, it's a welfare check as well. So we are delivering freshly made soup on a daily basis, Monday to Friday, with a bread bun, a sandwich and a cake. We're checking to make sure that everybody's safe and well, that they're warm enough. We'll give a medication prompt while we're there. We'll make them a hot drink, close curtains, and just make sure everything's as it should be.
And how many people do you think you'll be helping out with this?
We have a few customers already. It's proving to be quite popular. And I think as the nights pull in and we go into colder weather, there's going to be a greater need for that service.
And darker weather, of course, needing somebody to come around and check people in the dark.
Yes, that's right.
How many people do you do a lunchtime service as well?
We do.
Meals on Wheels. How many people does that help?
We deliver meals. We deliver around 1,050 meals per week, hot meals. At the moment, we're delivering between 30 and 50 tea time snacks for the new service, but that is gradually building up.
Tea in England is, of course, the most civilised moment of the day, isn't it?
It is.
And I'm glad it involves cake. They can make their own cups of tea, presumably, but I'm glad it involves cake. That's very important.
Absolutely.
And it's a bit of company as well.
It is. I think if you're at home alone all day your meal times become the focus of a day. And if you've got a bright, bubbly, cheerful person coming in at lunchtime and then again at tea time, it really does break the day. It makes a world of difference.
You're looking for some volunteers to help out?
We are. Obviously, the concern is it's an essential service. If we get really poor weather conditions, snow, really bad ice, for the remoter areas that we visit, often the cars that we use are not fit for purpose in those conditions. So we ask for volunteers who own 4x4 vehicles to be on standby in adverse weather conditions. And that would be to take the delivery driver out at either lunchtime or tea time and just get them where they need to go.
If anybody wants to volunteer to do that, or indeed if anybody wants to have Meals on Wheels at tea time, as yes. I do, how should they get in touch with you?
They can call me, Lindsay, on 01472 322 915.
And how many people have you got involved in preparing the meals so far?
For actually preparing, we have about 7 kitchen staff preparing the hot main meals. We also prepare the soup in our Cafe Vintage at Strand Court.
Brilliant.
So our chef makes the soups
Brilliant.
daily.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Good luck in finding those volunteers.
Thank you.
Join me after the break. Jack will bring us a roundup of all the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Casey Adam-Fawcett about a classical concert in Hull. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Casey Adam-Fawcett about classical music in Hull. A mental health charity in Grimsby is set temporarily to close. North East Lincolnshire Mind will be shut for 3 months in order to review its services for the long term after it was revealed that the charity had failed to secure new funding. A £50,000 a year contract for Mind North East Lincolnshire will not be renewed once it runs out. It was the sole source of financial support for the charity. Charity bosses are considering merging the branch based in Kent Street with Hull and East Yorkshire Mind. The charity will be closed from the 20th of December to the 1st of April. East Riding Council is extending its consultation on sheltered housing. The council wants to change the service to help reduce social isolation. It owns and manages 1,800 sheltered housing properties across 47 schemes. Tenants affected now have until the 15th of December to have their say on the proposals. A multi-agency operation tackling antisocial behaviour in Grimsby is proving successful, according to North East Lincolnshire Council. Joint patrols by partner agencies, including the Council and Humberside Police, were carried out in response to reports of drugs, alcohol and antisocial activity in the Riverhead area. After a week of patrols, the Drug and Alcohol Service Foundations has seen an increase in referrals. The work has led to a visible reduction in the presence of antisocial people in the town centre. I'm joined now by Casey Adam-Fawcett to tell me about a largely classical concert coming on in Hull. Welcome, yes. Casey, how are you?
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Where and when is this concert to take place?
This concert will take place in Hull. It's a place called Jubilee Central. It's mostly known as a church, but it's a massive, massive venue. It holds about 600 people. It's like an old style theatre.
Good acoustics?
Really good acoustics, yeah.
When should we be there if we're going to enjoy this?
So it's Friday. I've actually got a poster. So it's Friday the 8th of December. It's going to have acts like Trey Michi, they're a trio opera group. It'll have the Garnett family.
Who should be familiar from being on another television station at some point.
That's right, there were semi-finalists on Britain's Got Talent.
Very well.
Yeah, and then there is another act, it's a duo, they're opera as well. They are called Richard and Adam. They were the finalists on Britain's Got Talent. Yeah, and then sorry?
Are you recruiting your performers for this performance
That's
purely
right.
from television shows.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know the Garnett family really, really well. They're quite close friends of mine. So when they got onto the semi-final, Britain's Got Talent, I was so proud of them. So it's really, really nice to have them back.
They're locals from Hull as well, are they?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're locals from Hull.
The duo, I think, weren't they throwing missiles at Simon Cowell at one point?
Oh, the duo Richard and Adam. Yeah, so they're well known for in the final. One of the people who were playing violin in the background, she came forward and started throwing eggs at the judges. So that was like in uproar. It's like got more than like 2 million views on YouTube.
It seems entirely appropriate behaviour to me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What's your role in this? You're a singer.
I'm a singer, yeah. I won the Hull Daily Mail Star Search competition.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very exciting. From that, I started my career in music, so I now sing full time. I do festivals, carnivals, weddings, etc.
You're available for birthdays, weddings, and bar mitzvahs.
That's right.
Essentially, is what you're telling us.
That's correct.
What sort of singer are you? You sound quite bassy to me.
Yes, so I'm like a soul kind of singer. So anything from like blues, or I sing like male diva songs.
Okay, well, nothing wrong with that.
Some people call me, like a male diva. Yeah, just really low kind of things, but I can also get quite high too.
You're sort of Halentian Paul Robeson, are you?
Yes.
That's the sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
On the night of the concert, 8th of December,
Yes.
What kind of programme can we expect?
So you can expect, so there's 2 types of tickets. So there's a meet and greet, and there is the standard ticket. The meet and greet is from 6:15. And the standard is from 7 o'clock. The meet and greet, you'll find someone called Sam Arkett playing live music, while you get to meet me and Trey Michi as well. Before, you get a ton of free gifts, like you get one of my CDs, which is coming out next week.
Well, okay, better. Where else, apart from coming along, where else can people get their hands on your CD?
My CD, so you can go on my website, it's caseyadammusic.com. Or you can go on Facebook, Casey Adam Music on Facebook as well. It's not on iTunes, so but my next album will be on iTunes, which is an original album that'll be out next year.
So you've got people can turn up for the more expensive ticket. They can turn up for the meet and greets, where the artists have no choice but to confront their public.
Yes,
fine.
That's right. Yes, so they get to meet us. They get to hear all our stories. We get to meet them, get to know them as well.
But then we'll actually get to performing. So what will you be performing? What are you doing, for instance? What's your...
So I have a Spanish background, so I'm looking to bring some Spanish influence into my songs as well.
Muy bueno.
Yeah, qué bien hablas español.
Inglés ahora, por favor.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be looking to introduce Latino kind of influence into it. And also I'll be singing the Deep Diva songs. I'll be seeing if I can do any live music with Sam Arkett, who's going to be in the meet and greet.
And he's a guitarist.
He's a guitarist, yeah, and he's a good singer too, but we'll be using him for guitar. He's very, 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 very talented. So it's such an amazing event. It's so, I don't know, it's so exciting to be a part of something that is big in the city of culture.
There will be a classical programme there. There'll be a bit of opera that you mentioned as well.
Yes.
And there'll be sort of a bit of gospel and the other sort of genres of music.
So the Garnett family's gospel, Trey Michi's opera.
You've been, as you said, you won the Hull Daily Mail Award.
I did.
How long have you been singing?
I've been singing pretty much all my life in school choirs and stuff, but not properly until about when I was 16. I started singing in churches.
Right.
So I started singing in church, and now I'm singing every week to a congregation at Jubilee Church, which the concert's at.
It's a sort of captive audience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 300 at the moment, and it's still growing. So it's going really well.
Okay, well, good luck with the sales of the CD. And just a reminder, the 8th of December at, what's it called, the Jubilee Centre?
It's called Jubilee Central, or Jubilee Church, yeah.
In Hull.
In Hull.
Casey, thank you so much.
Thank
Break
you.
a leg.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Here's Jack with all the sports.
Hull City midfielder David Myler is hoping to help lead his country to the World Cup in Russia next year. Myler captained the Republic of Ireland in their win against Wales back in October as they sealed their place in the playoffs. The first leg is in Copenhagen on Saturday before the two sides meet again in Dublin on Tuesday. Myler says wearing the captain's armband was a big moment for him and his family.
The last two group games against Moldova and Wales were incredible. Obviously, the captain of my country was huge. It's a proud moment for me and my family. Like to go to Russia, to be involved in that. I've been involved in the Euros, was unbelievable. Kind of comes back to the old cliche, it's something you'll tell your grandkids. But we've got two tough games against Denmark, and we're fully aware of what they're capable of. So, you know, we'll be ready.
Scunthorpe United defender Rory McArdle is himself preparing to be involved in one of the biggest games in his country's history. The Iron skipper was called up to the Northern Ireland squad by manager Michael O'Neill ahead of their playoff doubleheader against Switzerland. The first leg is in Dublin on Thursday, while the second leg takes place in Bâle on Sunday. McArdle hasn't played for his country since 2014, but is happy that his club's form has led to a national call-up.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago I spoke about it and said that I was always only ever going to try and get back in that squad by playing well for my club. And I always said that I concentrate on that, and if a call-up comes, then it does come. So I've tried to do that, tried to keep my performance levels high, and I think it shows that if you sort of stick at it and be patient, you can see what the rewards will be.
Grimsby Town face Sunderland tomorrow in the Checkatrade Trophy. However, frontman Sariki Dembele is set to miss out of the game due to hamstring strain. He limped out of Saturday's FA Cup tie at Plymouth Argyle, but Mariners boss Russell Slade is hoping to have him available for the long trip to Exeter at the weekend. Both sides have lost the two games they've played in the competition so far. Hull FC's pair Sika Manu and Mark Minicello have been named in their respective World Cup teams for this weekend's final round of the group stage games. Manu will continue to captain Tonga, and Minicello will lead out Italy in Australia. Tonga could top Group B if they can overcome New Zealand on Saturday. And that's all for the sport.
Thanks very much, Jack. That's all we have time for tonight, I'm afraid. If you've a story for us, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, or email news@estuary.tv, or call Grimsby 01472 31 553, details on the screen, or write to us, Estuary TV, Grimsby DN345BQ. Good evening.